Yes, boys, it's the commish, the one and only's birthday. It was yesterday. Happy birthday to me. And the only present I got so far from the league is Otley handed me a victory last week. Thank you, Ott, my second of the season. Really appreciate it, buddy. Yes, it's been a tough year for the commish. It's been a tough year for the source here, but I got a win last week. So, nice little segue into last week recap. 0-4 in my NFL picks leading up into last week. 1-0-1 last week, guys. I had the Texans plus 14 against the Eagles Thursday night. They lost by 12. That's a cover. And then I had Falcons plus 3 against the Chargers, who kicked the last-minute field goal to win by 3. That's a push. So on the season, 10-7-1. And now is the time, I'm telling you right now, that I will get hot. It's my birthday. Valone and I, over the last 4 bets in the last 4 nights, some Maction, some Tuesday, Wednesday night Maction, some college basketball Tuesday, Wednesday, 4-0 my last 4 picks there. 1-0-1 in my NFL picks last week. Now is the time to jump on the train. Coming off an 0-4 slide, I will get hot. I'm warning you right now. As for my fantasy picks, I went 2-3 last week. I said Otley would beat me. That did not happen. Otley's on a 3-in-a-row loss skid after starting the season 6-0. I said Chris over Valone. Josh Allen had a down week. Valone had a great week. Valone killed Chris. If you remember on last week's show, I picked Valone in flip-flop bad decision, as I should have stuck with my gut. I had Jake over Dean. Jake won again and was the high scorer of the week for the second time in 3 weeks, and the third time on the season. He's tied Chris. They both have won $75 to date with high scorer of the week. Jake looks unstoppable. I had Brett over Pearson. Pearson comes out scorching hot. Joe Mixon 5 touchdowns. Ramondre Stevenson a touchdown. Just blew Brett out of the water last week too, so that one was wrong. And then I had Terry over Kevin. That one did happen. So on the season, 25-20, kind of like that. Nice even, nice clean record. And heading into week 10, I'm going to give you my Thursday night pick now because I'm feeling really confident about it. Last time these two teams played, it was my Sunday pick. I picked the under, and it was like 34-31. They scored on 10 consecutive plays. There's some bad weather tonight. Panthers, that was a DJ Moore long touchdown, and then he took off his helmet, and the kicker missed the extra point. I think these are two teams headed in different directions. The Carolina Panthers got squashed last week. The Falcons almost beat the Chargers. Panthers have 3 quarterbacks that all suck. Atlanta, I feel like they're going to win this game tonight, and I'm fine laying the 2.5 points on the road. So take Atlanta tonight. I think it's a don't get cute pick, and I think you go with the Falcons minus 2.5. That is my Thursday night pick on the show. So our matchups this week, we have some good ones, some big ones, and we're going to start off with maybe one of the not so good ones. We got Pearson's father, Kevin, versus Mga Valone. Valone second place behind Jake, about 50 points, but 100 ahead of the next person. So Jake's got 150 more than 50 more than Valone, 150 more than third place. Valone 4 wins in a row, playing Kevin, who has lost 2 in a row. And I'm on the record saying that even though I'm 2-7, my dad's 2-7, Pearson's 2-7, the lineup that Kevin is starting is got to be the worst in our league. Not really his fault. Jamar Chase, Dobbins, dead. Keenan Allen, somehow still not back, which forces Kevin to play Terrace Marshall Jr., Chuba Hubbard, Zay Jones. He's got some really big question marks in his lineup. His 2 guys are his Browns, Cooper and Chubb, and then he's got Geno Smith. So can he beat Valone? Well, ESPN gives him a 31% chance. That's not good. And Valone, he's just a freaking juggernaut. Eckler scores multiple touchdowns every week. Waddle, Olave, Debo, Miles Sanders, Patrick Mahomes. He's going to win this week. I really like Valone's team. He's second in the standings. I think he's the second best team in our league, and I think he's poised to make a playoff run. So I'm taking Valone over Kevin here in Week 10. Moving on to my next matchup, the Harding Dynasty Part 2, Dean versus Sunday Shenanigans Terry. Kind of same story here. Dean said he get the best 2-6 team of all time. Now I guess he might have the best 2-7 team of all time. Just can't win. And Terry, on the other hand, just grinding out wins, staying at 5-4, staying in the thick of it, waiting for guys to get healthy like DeAndre Swift. And he just picked up David Njoku, another guy that maybe can get healthy, might actually play this week. So, but then he has ETN, Justin Jefferson, Juju Smith-Schuster, who's been hot over the last few weeks. So he's got the playmakers. He also has both Bear running backs who can definitely score some points. I know, by the way, Mark Andrews on bye should be healthy coming back. So a good but not great team from Terry. We've seen him have better teams in the past, but staying relevant. Dean, Herbert hasn't been good. He doesn't have his receivers, and now he's at San Francisco. I mean, he's a good player, but is he going to do enough to move the needle? Josh Jacobs been excellent. Last week, the Raiders, up in the first half, somehow lose that game against Jacksonville. Aaron Jones is questionable. But one guy who I think could be a huge difference maker is Cordero Patterson. He's got him back in a game, first game off IR, 2 touchdowns last week. He just finds the end zone somehow every week. I have written down that I wanted to take the upset and go with Dean over Terry. And last time I flip-flopped, it was bad for me. Dad, I'm giving you another chance. If you go 2-8, man, I don't know if I can pick anymore. This goes against my logic because Terry just kind of finds ways to win, and Dean finds ways to lose. But got to go with the upset sometimes. I'm taking Dean in the Harding Dynasty Part 2 to win here in Week 10 over Terry. Moving on to the next matchup, we have Taylor Ham versus Team Brown. And this would maybe be a candidate for the matchup of the week. But I think Chris is really in deep trouble with the Bills situation right now. Everything I'm reading as of this Thursday night, I'm wearing the Diggs jersey. He's coming back to Minnesota. Case Keenum might be throwing the ball. The Minnesota Miracle tandem back together. If Allen does in fact play, not only is that a huge blow to Chris because he has Allen, but he has Diggs, who's going to take a big step back. And he also has Singletary. I mean, I think the Bills are going to be in trouble. Obviously going to be in trouble if Allen doesn't play. If he does play, Chris could easily win this game. He's still projected to lose. But I'm going to go with Brett in this one because of that injury concern and because of that uncertainty. And Brett, 97 points last week, had a bad week. It's funny. The week before I played him, he scored 200. D'Onta Foreman had 34 points. Last week he had 3. Close, very comparable numbers there. It's kind of just the way it goes. I'm not complaining, but, it is what it is. Let's look at DJ Moore. Also 3 points last week when I played him. 27. A little different. Close. But no, in all seriousness, I mean, Brett's got a good team. I said that he's on the outside looking in. He's licking the glass. And if you're going down the row here, the teams you need to knock out of the playoffs, Brett, for you to get in. You look at Jake's window. He's got a freaking Rottweiler on the inside. He's sleeping. He's getting massaged by some ladies in there. He's just sleeping with a big peace pipe in his hand. All right, I'm going to walk to the next window. I look at the next window. I got Valone. Valone's got a male masseuse in there, really, giving him good, working out his kinks, if you know what I mean. He's got a security system. There's no voids there. Okay, I'm going to move on. Then there's 2, you got Chris, I think, and Otley. They might be sharing an apartment. The window's cracked a little bit. There's a cat sitting up on the sill, and Brett's just kind of sneaking on in the window. And Chris, I think he'll be fine once Allen's fine. CMC is going to be good. Kittle's going to be good. Connor's going to be back. But for now, I think Chris is in a little bit of trouble, and I think he loses this week to Brett. So thank you for going with my security window analogy. Just go off on tangents sometimes. But that brings me to the matchup of the week. And, It is so because it is Jake and Otley, and can Otley fall 4 in a row? He's got a tough matchup. The percentage is not with him. He does not have Lamar. He's starting Mariota tonight. He's still got Dalvin, but Fournette has been a little bit left a lot to be desired. And it's really just coming down to Otley's wide receivers. With Higgins on bye, he's starting Cooks, Mooney, and Ayuk. Another game that is going to get the matchup of the week just because it's a 6-3 versus a 7-2 team. But Jake, again, we say it every week, and this Harding Dynasty Part 2, it's ominous. I don't want to put the juju on Jake, but my goodness, since Malone been on the pod and proclaimed Jake the team to beat, just go look at his roster. It's magnificent. It just makes me so happy to look at his team. I wish it was my team. But Watson's Bath and Spa, I think, takes down Ott and makes that 3, 4, 5, 6 team competition there for those spots. I think it makes it very, very interesting with a Chris and Otley loss this week. So it's going to get muddy, folks. And that brings me to the last matchup, me versus Pearson, an important one. You know, the loser's got to pick up a bar tab. Neither one of us is probably getting back in the thick of it, but we're both playing for pride. Pearson last week, huge point total. He had an excellent week. He was second to Jake in points. I'm going back to actually see the amount of points. He had 161. Jake had 173. So, you know, a little bit better, but just had everything working for him. But this week, a little bit trouble. He loses Mixon to bye. He loses Ramondre Stevenson to bye. He loses Tyler Boyd to bye. Leaves the door open for me to secure my second win in a row. But guess what, guys? It ain't looking great for me either. Cooper Kupp might be without Matthew Stafford. Michael Pittman doesn't have a quarterback anyway. I don't have a very good flex. I'm starting Pickens, who could be sneaky because they got rid of Claypool. And really my saving grace. I've been waiting for Brady to be good. In my other league, I've been picking up quarterbacks. It's been a carousel. And I got Justin Fields in both. And he went off last week. And I'm just hoping he can be my golden ticket to just give me solid points each week. And maybe give me that high floor with the rushing ability and keep throwing some touchdowns. So I'm picking myself to beat Pearson. This is the first time I picked myself this month. And I just think I have a better team. And I think I'll get the job done. So the two guys that I'm worried about is definitely Devontae Adams and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Pitts also tonight, but got to go with the source. I've had Pearson's number. I hope I keep it. The league wrote me off. I didn't write back. Geno Smith. My pick of the week. I looked at the couple this week that I really like, but I think the easiest pick on the slate is Dallas -5 in Green Bay. You know, the regular Joe Schmo, not the sharps like me, guys, not the source. The regular Joe Schmo going through their phone, Green Bay Packers, +5.5 at home. I'm taking that all day. Rodgers doesn't lose at home. The line maker's got to know something. You go into this game, you think it's like a 2.5 point, maybe 3 at best, you know, that the Cowboys are giving. They're giving 5 on the road. The Cowboys have sneakily been a lot better. I think they win by a touchdown, probably more. The Packers just don't look the same. So take the Cowboys, all you Eagles fans out there. Listen, Eagles fans last week, ties on the Texans. You know, they're the home team. Look, the Eagles won. They won by 12. But they didn't cover. You got to put your biases aside, boys. You got to follow the source while he's hot. Guys, I hope you have a good week, and good luck to you all. Besides Pearson, Otley, I picked you to lose. This is your chance, buddy. You've been asking for it. Here it is. Commish out.